Hello friends, I'm Samir and I welcome you all to your own YouTube channel Aryabhatta. Friends, today in this video of statistics, we are continuing our previous topic which was correlations. So in this video, let's discuss different properties, different interpretation, then about errors and also some change of scale and origin and how it affects the coefficient of correlations. These all are the topic of discussion for today's video. So let's start our discussion starting from properties of correlation coefficient. And you know friends, correlation coefficients, its symbol is either R or the symbol rho. So let's keep the symbol R for our discussion for now. The first properties of coefficient of correlations says that it is a bounded number which lies in between -1 to +1. That means the coefficient of correlation or the correlation coefficient is a number which is bounded between -1 to +1. That means the correlation coefficient cannot go below -1 or above +1. It's a number in between -1 and +1. The second property says that the computation of the correlation coefficient is independent of the choice of origin and scale of measurement. So, if you can choose any origin or you can change the scale of measurement, then also the coefficient of correlation is not going to change. It remains the same. It is independent of the both the choices. And how it happens, that we'll discuss through one big example at the end of this video. But for now, let's focus on our third property, which says that the sign of the correlation coefficient is determined by the sign of the covariance in the numerator of the formula of R. We know friends, the basic formula for the coefficient of correlation is equals to the covariance between the two variables divided by the product of the standard deviations of each variables. So here, to get the correlation coefficient, we need a division where the numerator is the covariance between the two variables and the denominator is two standard deviations of both variables each. So the sign, whether the correlation coefficient will be positive or negative, that depends on the sign of the covariance which is placed in the numerator of the formula of correlation coefficients. Now the fourth property says that the correlation coefficient indicates the magnitude of relationship between two variables having a nearly linear relationship between them. If two set of variable or two series of variables, they have just about nearly a linear relationship or straight relationship, then the values of the magnitude of R indicates that whether they have a linear relationship or not. If they have a linear relationship, then up to which amount they are linear. The fifth property says that the coefficient of correlation indicates the direction of relationship, whether the relationship is positive or negative. It is indicated by the coefficient of correlations. The sixth property says that the magnitude of the coefficient of correlation reflects the quantum of simultaneous variations that can be accounted for by a straight line relationship. If both the series of variables, they are going through or they are maintaining a straight line relationship or linear relationship, then up to which magnitude they are changing together, which is called simultaneous variations, that can be reflected or represented by the magnitude of the coefficient of correlations. Okay friends, so these are few properties of coefficient of correlations. Now come to the interpretation of coefficient of correlations. Here we are going to discuss that different values of coefficient of correlations which are in between -1 to +1, what they actually represents and which type of structure or relationship they represents by their numbers. If the coefficient of correlation R, its value is +1, the highest, then it is called or it represents a perfect positive association. And if the coefficient of correlation is a number in between 0.5 and +1, then it is called high positive association. If it is in between 0 to 0.5, then it is called low positive association. If the coefficient of correlation value is 0, then it represents no linear association between the series x and y. If it is a number in between -0.5 to 0, then it represents low negative association. If it is a number in between -1 to -0.5, then it represents high negative association. If it is a number whose value is -1, then it represents perfect negative association. Now, the lowest perfect negative association and the highest value of coefficient of correlation, that is +1, which represents perfect positive associations. These two are very important associations or stages. A perfect positive or negative association, that means where the value of R is -1 or +1, it implies a linear relation with positive or negative slope. That means if R is -1, then it represents a perfect negative association. That means here the x values or y values, they goes on decreasing simultaneously, representing a negative slope of the linear line. And in case of where the R is +1, where it represents a perfect positive association, the scatter diagram will be upward, where the x and y values are almost linear to each other and both are increasing simultaneously, whose slope will be positive here. Okay friends, so this is about the properties of correlation coefficient and the interpretation from the values of different values of the coefficient of correlations. Now let's extend our topic further. Let's come to know another term here which is coefficient of determination. Now friends, what is coefficient of determination here? The coefficient of determination is nothing but the square of the correlation coefficients. If the correlation coefficient is R, then its square, R square, represents the coefficient of determinations. Now what is the need and purpose of coefficient of determinations? To discuss it, let's move further. If R square is the coefficient of determination, then if I'll multiply 100 with it, that means if I'll convert it to percentage, then 100 R square is the percentage variation or the percentage of determination in the determinant variable, in the dependent variable, explained by the variation of the independent variable. 100 R square is the percentage variation in the dependent variable explained by the variation of the independent variable. Now the question arises that which variable is dependent and which one is independent. So it depends on which variable we are taking. It depends on our choice. Here if x, you will regard it as your independent variable, then the other variable y will be the dependent variable and vice versa. If y will be you will take as the independent variable, then definitely x will be the dependent variables. Okay friends, so this 100 r square is the percentage of variation in the dependent variable explained by the variation of the independent variable here. Now let's see how this coefficient of determination is calculated. If the coefficient of correlation r is say plus or minus 0.6, then the coefficient of determination is nothing but r square, which is the square of this number, which is 0.36. Now let's see what this percentage of variation 100 r square represents. What is the use of this number? For that, let's discuss it through an example. Let the correlation coefficient r is 0.9. Then it explains, if I convert this one to percentage of variation, that it explains 100 r square value. 100 r square will be here equals to 81%. As r is 0.9, so r square will be 0.81 multiplied with 100 will be 81. So 81% of variation in the dependent variable with respect to the independent variable. So in this way, this percentage variation and coefficient determination help us that how one variable is changing with respect to other variable in terms of percentage. This is a good way of observing the change in one variable with respect to the other. Now from here we are getting two important notes or points, that about the coefficient of determination, that is r square. We'll discuss more about it and its significance, its importance in the study of regression analysis that we are going to discuss further. In our further video, we are going to discuss regression analysis, where this coefficient of determinations r square will be used, and there will come to know its importance or significance. Okay friends, now the second point says that the percentage of non-determination is equals to 100 into 1 minus r square percent. If the percent of determination is 100 r square, then the percentage of non-determination will be 100 into 1 minus r square. This term will also help us to understand the relationship between two variables or two series of variables in our future studies. Okay, now come to another important term here, that is the probable error of the coefficient of correlation r. Probable error, shortly we will write PE. The probable error is the possible error that may occur in the coefficient of correlations. Now in a random sample of the size n from a bivariate population with correlation coefficient rho, the sample correlation coefficient r has the probable error approximately equals to 0.6745 multiplied with standard error of r. That means if we have two series of data, say x and y series, say their coefficient of correlation is rho, represented by the symbol rho, then their probable error PE is equals to 0.6745 into its standard error of r. Now the formula of standard error of r is 1 minus rho square by root over of n minus 1, where n represents number of datas in the series or number of pair of datas in the series. Rho represents the correlation coefficient of both series, and if we multiply this formula with 0.6745, the then approximate value that will obtain will be the probable error of the correlation coefficients. Now friends, here you have to remember this number 0.6745, which is sometimes also called by some mathematicians and statisticians as the golden number or the golden ratio. So this is a very important number whose importance we'll come to know in our future studies also. in different fields of mathematics and statistics. There is a very important ratio used in different fields, which is obtained from our real life calculations. Now, here we have two things to notice, that the probable error PE of the correlation coefficient R is expected to be small. This probable error will reduce, or it will become small if the sample size will be large. That means if the number of data or number of pair of variables n will be larger, more number of data will be there, or the correlation coefficient rho of the series will be high, means almost close to 1, nearly close to 1. If the correlation coefficient will be high and the number of pair of data in both series will be large, if both will be large, then there is a chances that the probable error will reduce to a smaller value. Okay friends, now we have discussed earlier the coefficient of correlations, its properties, its interpretations. Then we discussed coefficient of determinations, then percentage of non-determinations, and at the end we discuss probable error of coefficient of correlations. Now, as I told you, at the end of this video, we'll discuss through one example that how the change of origin and scale does not affect the computing value of the correlation coefficients. Let's see how it will not affect. It will change the origin or will change the scale. Let's see how it will not affect the calculation of correlation coefficients. For that, let's take the example of 5 students. Their marks in mathematics and statistics respectively. Marks in mathematics I will take it as x, and marks in statistics I will take it as the variable y. The question is to find the correlation coefficient of this two series of data. So here I will do one experiment. I will calculate them in 3 different stages, in 3 different ways. In the first part, I will calculate it without changing the origin and scale. Means whatever the raw data given here, I will use them for my calculation directly by the direct formula. So let's write for that. Let's make the table. Our formulas of correlation coefficient R is equals to n into summation of x into y minus summation of x into summation of y whole divided by root over of n into summation of x square minus summation of x whole square multiplied with root over of n into summation of y square minus summation of y whole square. So I need 5 different terms here: summation of x, summation of y, summation of x square, summation of y square, and at the end summation of x into y. So these 5 different terms I need. For that I have to make a table of 5 columns, write down x and y values, write their respective x square values, write their respective y square values, multiply respective x and y values with each other and write in the xy column, make the sum, find the total of all, and from here you will get the total. From each column you will get summation of x, summation of y, summation of x square, summation of y square, summation of xy. Now after putting the values here and after calculating step by step, the approximate value of correlation coefficient I am getting is 0.832. It is I obtain without changing the origin and scale. That means I obtained by direct formula. Remember the correlation coefficient, it is 0.832. Okay friends, now let's try to solve the same questions in B type category, where we'll only change the origin. By only changing the origin, let's calculate the correlation coefficients. So for that I need x and y columns. I have written as before. Then I will select my origins. That means a number either from the X series or in the Y series, or a number which will be from my own choice, and that number I will deduct or I will subtract from X series and Y series. The both numbers may be different also, it depends on my own choice, and that deviated values I will use for my calculations further. So from the X series I selected the origin as 69 to subtract from all X datas one by one, and I obtained X dash. From Y series I decided to take 60 as my origin, which I will subtract from each data of Y series, and I will get the deviated Y dash data. Then as usual I need 5 columns of X dash and Y dash. Now X dash and Y dash, the deviated data will act as my original data to be calculated, to be used for calculations. So I will calculate as usual, I will calculate X dash square, Y dash square, and one more column of product of X dash, Y dash with respective values. So I can calculate them and I can find the summations of each. Now you will get summation of X dash, summation of Y dash, summation of X dash square, summation of Y dash square, summation of X dash, Y dash, by adding or getting the total of all. Now using the same formula, but here in terms of X or Y we are using X dash and Y dash value, the deviated values, at putting the reduced form values which are very small. Now I have calculated gradually and I obtain the same number 0.832 as the correlation coefficient that I obtained in the case B, where I have not changed the origin or scale, means by direct formula. So you see, while changing the origin also I am getting the same correlation coefficient that I obtained without changing the origin and scale. Now let's see in the third case C, the same problem. If I'll change both the origin and scale, then what will happen? So there, this first 4 columns will be same, means X and Y data are same as usual. Deviated data X dash and Y dash will be same, but I will go further, I will change the scale also. That means I will go for step deviation methods. I will take a common ratio or divisor, a number which I will divide with X dash and Y dash, and I will get my new reduced data X double dash and Y double dash. Then on that I will calculate X double dash square, Y double dash square, and a product of X double dash and Y double dash. I will get the sum and I will use the same formula, but only in terms of X dash and Y dash. My formula will be in terms of X double dash and Y double dash. So let's see that calculation, friends. In the C type, with changing the origin and scale, you can see I did as before. From X and Y data I have taken two origins 69 and 60 and get the deviated data X dash and Y dash. To reduce it further, I have chosen two ratios 2 and 5, two positive numbers, to divide with them so that I can reduce them further, and in this way I am getting X double dash and Y double dash data. Now X double dash and Y double dash will behave like my original data for the calculation of correlation coefficients. So I obtain X double dash square, Y double dash square, and a product of X dash double dash and Y double dash. So you can see now I will obtain X double dash summations, then summation of Y double dash, summation of X double dash square, summation of Y double dash square, and summation of X double dash and Y double dash. And you can see they are very small numbers. That means I can calculate it further very simply. Now the correlation coefficient formula is same as before, but only in place of X or Y or X dash or Y double dash I have used X double dash and Y double dash values. So you can put the values obtained from this table and you can calculate, and you can see the answer is same again, 0.832. So on the same number, by applying the 3 different concepts, we observe that the change of origin and scale does not hamper the correlation coefficient at all. it remains the same. So friends, I think through this example and through this video, you are very much clear about the properties and nature of correlation coefficients and how it affects the calculation of correlation coefficients by change of origin and scale. So I hope that you will discover further in this field yourself and obtain more knowledge on it. So for now, thank you very much for watching this video.